Hi everyone! From my last video, I made a vlog about visiting Lazy Cat Cafe in downtown Toronto during their grand opening week back in July 2024. From that, we saw a kitten and thought about adopting her as we were considering getting my current cat a playmate. And I know they're closing their downtown location this year, May 2025, for various reasons. Their post mentioned vile comments as one of the reasons, and I just wanted to note that this video is not meant to be that. I saw a lot of comments saying that they're going to adopt before the cafe closes, so I wanted to share my experience because honestly, it was not easy. So if you are thinking about adopting a cat from there, think long and hard on it. I had a ton of footage from then that was initially supposed to be a fun adoption vlog, but hopefully now I can use it as an informational video instead. So first, some background. I already have a cat. You can see the vlog of us bringing him home, and you'll notice that the cat is a munchkin. We did not support a breeder by buying one. I know there's a lot of controversy about munchkins, so I just wanted to clear that. It was from my partner's cousin who found a stray munchkin wandering around in the winter. It was raggedy. There was no microchip when they brought it to the vet, and the cousin ended up gaining its trust. So he took it in, and it ended up being pregnant with 7 kittens, one of which is now our cat. He was a year old back then when we first went to the cafe, and was also a solo cat that can play for hours and hours at a time. We did bring home our cat with one of his siblings, but we were only taking care of that sibling temporarily so the mom cat can be spayed. We then saw another black and white cat at the cafe, but was concerned about its watery eyes, which didn't look that bad when it was the first few days of the cafe opening. We thought about it for 2 weeks before applying, and they approved my application in less than 20 minutes of receiving it. The application the cafe has asked if I had another cat, so they knew I had a cat before approving it. I asked online forums about whether it's okay to bring it to a house with a healthy cat, and people suggested what the kitten might have is feline upper respiratory infection, which is common in shelter cats. And they said it was fine to bring home, but we asked a vet's opinion, and they said it was probably fine because my cat was probably exposed to it already from its stray mom. We were still cautious and debated for about a week. And also note, the cafe doesn't allow you to see the cat you're adopting unless you pay the entrance fee, which is $33.89, not including tax. So if it has an illness, you won't know unless you pay to see it. They are a business, so keep that cost in mind if you're looking to adopt. They said she had very teary eyes, but was recovering, so we asked how her eyes were doing because her Instagram picture showed her eyes looked fine. This picture was actually what convinced us to apply for her, and we trusted the picture but wanted to see the vet records. They sent it to us and said we can go look at it in person. We went in to read it, and it was from London Animal Services intake form. So we went home, signed the form, and paid the fee to the e-transfer email that they gave us. You can pause or slow down the video to read the agreement form. After everything was done, we went to pick her up on the weekend. So when you adopt a cat there, you have to bring your own carrier, and they'll go up to the cat room upstairs and cage it for you. So while we were waiting, this was when we became a bit more wary when they gave us these Russian Chinese antibiotic eye drops that they said they've been using. Assuming they've had her for about a month at this point, based on my vlog that I made to the time that I went to pick her up. The shelter vet record said that she only needed the drops for 5 days, and I doubt the Russian Chinese ones were what the shelter vet used on her. They gave her to us, and from there we thought it looked like they edited the picture of her on their Instagram. You can see her eyes are actually looking a lot worse. It was probably a really stressful environment for her to be there with a lot of cats around, people trying to touch her, the noise, which probably wasn't helping her get better, so understandable. Next day, we brought her to the vet and got her some new and different antibiotic eye drops, and also they prescribed antibiotic pills that was to be used over 7 days. We showed the Russian Chinese ones to the vet and they laughed about it, and said they had to take a picture because they found it funny. She got so much better on the antibiotics that we got her in just a few days. So both the new antibiotic eye drops and pills really helped her in those few days that we had her. And we noticed that her energy picked up from then on and she kept trying to escape her enclosure. If you don't know, introducing cats to each other can be stressful since they're pretty territorial. My resident cat was actually afraid of the kitten, while the kitten was curious and wanted to see my cat. We watched and read a ton of videos and blogs, including Jackson Galaxy, about how to introduce cats together before we got the kitten. So trying to take things slow, we set up a isolation area with everything she'd need, including an air purifier for her infection. My cat was absolutely not happy with this new kitten being around, and it's understandable. We tried to prevent or limit them seeing each other. We played with them both equally. We also let them sniff through the enclosure, and when they did that, we would give them treats to create that positive reinforcement. About a week and a half later, she did end up escaping the enclosure while we were out. This is considered very, very quick of an introduction, but they looked to be okay with each other actually, and was constantly supervised by us to make sure that they were interacting well. The kitten was more okay with it than my cat, and gradually my cat actually started feeling alright and playing with her. But then as days went on, my cat started exhibiting more hostile behaviors towards the kitten, chasing her, biting her neck, growling and hissing, and he's almost double her weight, so it was worrying when he tried to bite her on her neck, or even just like biting down on her, and I'd quickly intervene and split them up. We tried the Feliway multi-cat, and we also tried to do a reintroduction between them, but the kitten kept escaping. My cat would also stop playing whenever the kitten did and would just kind of sit around. It was really hard to see since the point of having a kitten was for him to have a playmate. It felt unfair to the kitten since my cat was constantly hostile to her while she was recovering from her sickness. It also felt unfair to my cat since he just didn't seem playful and at home anymore. We gave them both equal attention, care, food, treats, and for a long time, which we constantly talked about for days, and we made a heartbreaking decision. We worked full-time, so we couldn't always monitor them. We thought maybe she'd do better at another home, especially now that she's recovering and we finished her series of antibiotics. So from the form, it said that the adopted cat could be returned if the resident cat does not get along with it. You can see the actual wording here. I called and explained the situation and they said I can bring the kitten back. But then minutes later, the cafe wrote an email stating that they suddenly got a shipment of 6 to 7 cats 10 minutes ago from a shelter at 4:30 p.m. on a weekday. So they can't take her back. They're at capacity. We called them a few minutes later and asked if they might know when they'll have space again, since we don't mind keeping her for a bit, but they said they don't know. And we asked if they'll call us back when they have space, and they said they will, but spoiler, they never did. And then they also mentioned that she can't be taken back because she has a URI, so the upper respiratory infection, and it might infect the new cats, but which was strange because it was okay to have her with the other cats in the cafe initially, and also giving her to a household that they knew had a cat. And I'm just going to show some screenshots of other agencies with this policy. It was really disappointing to hear because reputable adoption agencies will take their cats back. For example, my boyfriend's friend brought home a new cat to their cat, and while the new cat was happy, the resident cat refused to eat and ended up losing 3 pounds. They ended up returning that cat, and the resident cat became more like themselves again. And it's because sometimes animals just don't get along with each other, and it definitely sucks to return them because everyone wants it to work out. We ended up rehoming the kitten to a young 20-year-old couple that would have time for the kitten and was understanding of her condition, and they seemed like the perfect fit for her. They answered my screening questions perfectly, and we also met up with them before handing her over. They do upload pictures of her from time to time, and it's great to see how happy and relaxed at home she is. My cat also instantly became his energetic self again after the kitten was gone. Lesson is, if you have the time, money, and willing to gamble whether the cat is healthy or not, give it a try. Some of these cats probably need to be taken out of a multi-cat stressful environment like the cafe so they can rest up and not be bothered like kitten we got. There was a Kijiji ad I saw that was a cat also adopted from Lazy Cat Cafe, and I chatted with them asking why they couldn't bring it back. Apparently the cafe gave them the same excuse of they're at capacity, despite the agreement saying any pets that don't get along can be brought back. They also didn't disclose the health issues the cat had, and it seemed like the person didn't get to see the cat before taking it home. So if you wanted another cat for your current household with pets, just note this. If you're set on adopting from the cafe, pay the admission fee to see the cat in person. But I do acknowledge some people had good experiences with adopting from them based on their social media comments. This is just what I went through and wanted people to be informed before applying. It's great. Lazy Cat Cafe has a lot of cats adopted out, but the cats aren't just a number and should find a home fitting for them, even if you find out yours is not. We're glad we got the kitten out of the cafe, got her the right medication, and gave her a quiet space to recover. So we have no regrets over that, no matter the time and money that cost. And it was priceless to learn that my cat enjoys being the only child. So donate food and litter to your local adoption agencies and rescues. It also seems like the cafe is in need of that. If you decide to adopt, best of luck.